In the Impact segment tonight, President Obama's big solution to the insurance nightmare is already running into problems, many of them. Health insurance experts say the so-called fix might actually make matters even worse, if that's possible. And legal questions are also being raised.
This is entirely lawless, entirely unconstitutional. And the fact that nobody is talking about this, the executive executes the laws. As you say, this is another example of Obama rewriting a law unilaterally, and nobody is complaining. The constitutional issue is out there.
I wonder if he has the legal authority to do this, since this was a congressional bill that set this up.
With us now, Jonah Goldberg, a Fox News contributor, and from New York, Bernard Whitman, a Democratic strategist. Okay, Jonah, the issue of legality is interesting, given some of the other things President Obama has done, right? I mean, he did the end run around Congress on the Dreamers, like giving the Dreamers discretion to stay here, despite the fact that they were illegally in the country. He did the end run around procedure with the recess appointments. That ends up going all the way to the Supreme Court and NLRB and all of these things. Do you think this is actually possibly an illegal move by the president to offer this fix?
I think it's transparently illegal. I think it's transparently unconstitutional. The caveat is that the Supreme Court or no other court is going to intervene to stop him from doing this. So in some ways it's very Nixonian. Nixon said it's legal if the president does it. And so the question is whether or not there are going to be lawsuits coming from the insurance companies or from someone with standing to say the president didn't have the authority to do this, and that would get the courts involved. But I think just on the pure civics textbook case, the president doesn't have the right to rewrite the laws.
Bernard?
I would be delighted if Speaker Boehner and the House Republicans sued to prevent the president from keeping his promise to allow those people who like their plans to keep them. That would really make this quite an extraordinary event. The Supreme Court has been very clear over 25 years ago in Heckler versus Chaney, ruled that agencies have broad discretion to use a variety of tools to ensure that the statutory goals of a particular law are fulfilled, particularly during transition times and particularly in times of change. So I think that the president is well within his rights. I suspect that he consulted with the Attorney General. I suspect he consulted with the White House counsel. And politically, it's the right thing to do. And more importantly, it's the right thing to do for the American people.
First of all, this is a piece of legislation we're talking about, the Affordable Care Act, and then the legislation was accompanied by rulemakings, and Kathleen Sebelius wrote that rule that then countered the president's promise, right? So there is a process for doing this. Unfortunately, his own HHS secretary was the one who wrote the rule, who made his promise impossible to keep. So it's part administrative, and Jonah, I think the question is whether a case will actually be brought. Separate from the legality, though, is these insurance industry analysts, people at like the Kellogg School of Management, they're saying this could potentially just upend the entire insurance industry because they've already factored in the expanded risk pool. And that's why they canceled these policies, because they were going to have all these people with pre-existing conditions now, and they had to rejigger the way that they were going to take in money and their risk assessments. This totally upends that, meaning the federal government could spend more, the premiums next year would be more, and all sorts of other unintended consequences.
Right, like so many things, this was a short-term political fix for President Obama to avert basically an open rebellion from Democrats on the Hill, and it kicked the can, got him out of this very brief political tight spot, but it makes the policies worse. These are his own defenders have been saying for a long time that it's the law of the land and you're an anarchist, hostage-taking racist if you dare touch it, and he's basically thrown a grenade into his own law, which is only going to exacerbate the adverse selection and all that. And while the insurance companies have every reason to be angry at Obama, I have no sympathy for the insurance companies. I think it was Ronald Reagan who said, if you get into bed with government, you're going to get more than a good night's sleep.
Well, because they enabled him, and they went along with this Obamacare thing, along with the American Hospital Association.
Yeah, and it turns out that it's like Darth Vader. I'm amending this. I'm changing this deal. Pray I don't change it any further.
Hey, Bernard, is there at any point where folks like you, real Obama supporters and liberal guys and gals, is there any point at which you just get angry at the president about how this has gone? I'm serious. And this is actually a serious question.
No, absolutely.
Because I got angry at President Bush for a number of things, and I think a lot of conservatives did. But I see very few liberals really infuriated about the absolute incompetence with which this thing was rolled out, and that this fix means nothing.
So
this fix means nothing.
You can see this progressive. I was extraordinarily upset with the president because his signature domestic initiative could not have been rolled out in a more disastrous way. But the fact of the matter is, this law overall provides tremendous benefits, and one of the main benefits is to bend the cost curve. We have seen the slowest growth in costs in 50 years, and without the Affordable Care Act, costs would have gone from 19% of income to, in 5 years from now, 31%, 10 years from now, half.
Everyone I know has their premiums going up.
Everyone
I know has their premiums going up and has fewer choices with doctors.
They would go up way more. The idea that the...
Yeah, but what else is happening, Bernard? Whoa. What else is happening? Fewer doctors are taking insurance, fewer choices in health care, premiums rising, and policies getting canceled. Next year, the small business policy cancellations come in. That's what's happening.
The idea that this is going to throw the insurance marketplace into a mess is absurd. Why? Because as a small business owner, I can tell you every year for the last 3 years, I've had my policies change, my premiums go up, the benefits slash.
Well, they might be canceled next year.
Obamacare is exactly designed to prevent that from happening. The cost curve has already been bent. And in fact, 85 million people have got 85 million people are getting preventive care. So I mean, frankly, the rollout's been terrible, but the benefits are great.
Yeah, but Bernard and Jonah, the numbers should be flip-flopped. It should be 60% of Americans love Obamacare and 40% want it repealed.
And we should be getting nothing but great stories in the media about how everyone is happy with what's going on, and we're not getting those.
Absolutely.
Wait till next year.
Gentlemen, I'll wait till next year.